just having your best day every day, having your best year every year, but just giving it your best and seeking growth. And money happens to be a byproduct if that's occurring in a business that generates revenue. So this year, your company, United Homes, will sell how much real estate, do you think? Just guessing.
We're on track for about 1,700 units. And we walked into this year looking for 23 or 2,400. And as soon as we got to about March or April of this year and started seeing some of that sandpaper of the market shifting, we woke up real fast. And we're working. I mean, I don't know. You've said it so many times. You said it in the last shift. You might work twice as hard for the same result.
That's
and
right.
It feels like we're working twice as hard today for the same or maybe even a tiny bit less of the result. But it depends on the day, right? Like some days we're getting multiple offers and some days we're making multiple calls.
When the market shifts, you have to shift into kind of an over thrive, if you will. You literally have to you're just going to have to put more effort because you have to talk to more people to get close to numbers that you did before.
Right.
So so you think 1,700 units production volume wise? Do you think that is?
We'll end somewhere about $9.5 million in GCI.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think we'll be just shy of 10 million. Again, we were looking at, all right, this is the year because we hadn't broken 10 before. And we thought this is the year that we're going to go in and do 12 and a half. And I think we're going to end at 9.5, 9.8, just shy of 10 million.
That's terrific. So let me ask you a question directly. And that is, what are you guys crushing right now? What are you doing that you're just crushing it? You want to tell us about?
Man, as unsexy as it sounds, if I boiled everything down to what we do really exceptionally, extraordinarily well, we focus on the absolute basics. We focus on, we've got 75% of our company right now, every day, tracking number of contacts made. As basic as that sounds, and now some of them, there's 310 people in our organization today. So some, their goal is 15 contacts a day, some it's 25, some based on their database or their business, or they just moved to that city, they're having to make 30 and 40 contacts a day. But the one thing that we're doing extraordinarily well is holding it accountable. How many contacts? And then from there, when they're making enough contacts every day, then we can start looking at, okay, great. How's the conversion rate? Are we converting those contacts to contracts? But what we've learned is, especially this year with the market shift, it's right back to numbers. It's right back to how many can we possibly talk to? Like back to a contact sport.
So let me ask you a question. So if my goal is to make contacts, what's the top ways that I can assure myself that I'm going to make contact?
I think there's three things for us. The first is we're extraordinarily heavy in internet lead generation. We're constantly going out and buying and looking for more and more and more leads, which are really like suspects. And they might become a lead in 12 months or 24 months or 60 months. But we've been at that game for 11 and 12 years. We're still selling homes from people that registered on a website with us 5 and 6 and 7 years ago. So one, we have that. Two, everybody who joins our group, we spend a lot of time on the front end of saying, how big's your database? And for the majority of them, Gary, it's 200 or 300 people. And so when you're making 70 or 100 or 130 contacts a week, you go through your list pretty fast. And by the time you get to week 3, for the majority, we've got to start building the list. So on one hand, I have the list I brought in. On the other hand, how am I dumping more and more names into it? And I wish that was basic, but it's not. And so it depends on what they do. Do they go to church? Are they involved in schools? Are they involved in sports in their school? Like, what do they do that they could possibly meet more people? They can't just go to Starbucks every day.
What are the big? No. Well, you can, but it's. What are the handful of ways to make more contacts?
We have 2 or 3. The first would be open houses. Every one of our people are out. We're back to sitting open houses. In fact, like this year, that's how I knew the market was shifting. I drove by 2 open house signs on the same Saturday with balloons up. And I'm like, the market shifted. We're back to holding them and buying balloons. So we're right back to open houses, which is averaging 6 to 10 contacts on a Saturday or a Sunday. And then the second is building out that list of everybody you know and making sure, how many of these people did I not put in the database? And for most of them that come in, they start at 250 or 300, but we always find 200 more, almost doubling their database from day one or day two with people that should be in that aren't. The third one is some type of geographic or sociographic farming, something they're either a part of or they enjoy doing, or an area that they want to sell in. The challenge on geographic is most of us choose geographic farms that are 2 and 3% turnover rates when really we want 8 and 10 and 12% turnover rates.
So number one, I got to make contacts, right? I have internet leads. I need to contact my database, and then I need to find ways to add contacts to my database, right?
Right.
I need to open house, contact people I already know, do some sort of geographic or sociographic farming. Is that it?
Something you like, something. And on top of all of that, it's really about like the 3-foot rule. If someone's within 3 feet of you, as basic and as silly as this sounds, you've got to find creative ways to mention that you're in real estate, whether that's in line at the grocery store, whether that's, I remember when we're going back to the old stuff, like walking into a bank to deposit a check instead of electronic deposit, because your job is to talk to the humans. Your job is to talk to the people. And I remember, actually, my first sales manager said, why would you ever mail your electric bill? You should go in and pay it and talk to the person at the counter. Now, I don't know that that's 100% applicable today, but the mindset and theory around it is. I've got to talk to the people.
Yeah, find a way, find a reason to talk to a minimum number of people.
Right.
Right.
And then do it again and again and again and again.
Yeah, let's jump up to internet leads. So walk me through, if you were coaching me today on how to be successful with internet leads, walk me through your thoughts on that.
Biggest piece for that today is it doesn't look the way it looked 8 or 10 years ago. Today, every single person knows that when they give their name, their number, their email address, they are not surprised when you contact them. And most of them have put their name and information into 2 or 3 or 4. So for us, it's a very laid back approach. Just wanted to call, just wanted to check in. Hey, wanted to put a real life human being to the name. Do you need anything real estate related this week? Enjoy the site, enjoy the searching. We're here when you're ready, whether it's now or in 10 years.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Yeah, does contact time matter? I mean, if you get an internet lead, can I wait a day? Can I wait 5 days? Can I wait a week?
Your issue here is speed to lead. The very best in our company, the very best, are contacting in minute 3, 4, or 5. Like it's right now. It's fast.
You're talking about under 5 minutes. Why? And just out of curiosity, why? By the way, I've heard some people try to do it within 10 seconds.
By the time they input their information and go to the next website or look at the next house, like they're getting a phone call or a text or an email from you. I mean, that would be the very, very best. The biggest reason for that, in my opinion, is the attention span. Everything moves so darn fast. Everything is so quick today.
Well,
and
people that moved on.
Right. What we're really trying to do. What's that?
Well, you said it. They've moved on. They were looking at a house, or they were looking at houses, and they answered information, and it captured them at that moment, right?
Right.
Yeah. If you don't contact them while they're still close to that experience, there's a disconnect. And that's why speed to lead matters, right? Did I say that right?
I think you said it 100% right. We think today that the internet lead of today, they will information or converse with a machine. They won't work with a machine. They still want to work with human beings, and they're totally used to it. They're used to artificial intelligence. They're used to bots. They're used to putting it. That's not new. What is new and what people want in their heart is just a human being. And that's why we call as fast as we can, or we text as fast as we can. Hey, just wanted to put a human being to the name. We call it out from the beginning. We're ready when you are, whether it's now or in 10 years. And we're letting them know we're not going to bully you. We're not going to beat you up. We're not going to be in your ear every single day, but we'll match our behavior to your motivation. As silly as it sounds, that consumer wants listings. They don't just want their realtor saying, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? What they hear is, do I get paid? Do I get paid? Do I get paid? They still just want listings.
I love that. And we're dropping the mic. So let's wrap it up with the last thing that you had said, and that is, I'm paid in direct proportion to
the level of questions that I ask.
Bam. Cody Gibson, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, if you want to learn more, just check out these other videos.